right, Miss Aurorah is back. Good morning, good morning, good morning. In this video, we're getting into the new PPP for small businesses with 20 or fewer employees. Yes, we've got more aid for the sole proprietor, for the independent contractor, and for the self-employed individual. Let's get into it. You already know that I am Miss Aurorah Dey, and this is the Secured Entrepreneur Movement. So President Joe Biden is helping small business in a large way. This whole new PPP rollout is helping the small businesses with 20 or less employees. Why? Because we do know that 98% of all small businesses here in the United States have less than 20 employees, and we do know that 70% of these small businesses are owned by women and people of color. Okay, so here's a few things that Ms. Aurorah wants all of the secured entrepreneurs to really know and understand when it is you're going to apply for this new PPP money. All right. And of course, you know, you're going to go to the SBA.gov website to do this. All right. So number one, yes, more aid for the sole proprietor, the independent contractor, and the self-employed individual. However, you will need to find a bank that will actually give you this loan if in fact you don't have a relationship with a bank right now for your business, which, you know, here in the Secured Entrepreneur Movement, that is a huge no. And this is, and I'm reading your email, so this is part of the reason why you all are not getting approved, because you're going into banks that you don't have a banking relationship with, and instead of them making it very clear that they're not going to do business with you unless you were already doing business with them, you get turned away. And now we've got, you know, they've got bad press and a whole lot of things are happening. And we know that happened with Bank of America the first time around. And what did they do? They came out the next time and said, listen, we want you to have a banking relationship with us. If you don't, please do not come here. Okay. So that is really one of the largest mistakes that sole proprietors make, independent contractors make, self-employed individuals make. They do not have business bank accounts. This is a no. So before you even start your application, please be sure on the SBA.gov website, and even they're saying they realize that they have made some mistakes. They were not very clear in assisting people in getting these loans and getting this money, because, you know, they weren't telling people, listen, choose a financial institution that you're doing business with. Instead, they're saying, you know, we'll help you find a lender. Okay, and then you get the slap in the face. This lender is like, no, I'm not helping you because you're not meeting the requirements. And the first requirement is we want you to do business with us. Okay, now there are a few financial institutions that are going to welcome you. Okay, and one of the things that they would ask you to do is start an account with them. Okay, so just be aware of that. Also, please be aware that because of all of the fraud, all of the waste, all of the abuse in the previous PPP from the individuals who did not have a business, okay, what were they doing? Going to people who said, listen, just go get a business license. I'm going to complete these documents for you, and then I'm going to get you this money. People were doing that, okay? And we've read the stories where there's some people who, you know, yes, they were arrested. They're in jail waiting, you know, for a court date. All these things are happening, okay? So because of that, you're going to have a more stringent application process. Now you're going through an SBA fraud check, okay? You've got the Treasury's do not pay database, and they're also looking at some public records to determine whether or not they're going to give you the money. Okay, so let us all be prepared to accept and receive this money. But you already know that Ms. Aurorah says when your business is profitable and you're doing all the right things to feed your business, you know, we won't have to really continue to go through these things. Okay, that's another video. The second thing that you all need to be aware of is that now PPP is going to provide relief for non-fraud convicted felons. Okay. Now, previously, in the previous PPP, if your business was owned by an individual who had 20% or more ownership of the business, and that individual was a convicted felon, you were denied the financing, the relief, the loan, okay, the money. Now, if the individual in your company who has 20% or more ownership is a convicted felon, but it was not a financial crime, they were not convicted of financial fraud, you will receive the PPP relief, okay? The third thing that the secured entrepreneur needs to know is that now the PPP is going to provide relief for the non-citizen lawful resident. Now there was a real huge discrepancy with the SBA.gov. Okay, these individuals use individual tax identification numbers. They did not have employee identification numbers. They did not have they didn't meet the criteria. Okay, that's really what it was. And it had to do with the fact that, number one, they did not have the right credentialing. They only had this tax identification number. There was too much miscommunication with that. But now the SBA has cleared that up. Okay, so we're going to start seeing the changes on the SBA.gov's website. All right. The last thing that Ms. Aurorah wants to mention about this new PPP that I think is really good is that now, if you are delinquent with your student loans, you will still have the opportunity to partake in this PPP relief. Previously, if you were delinquent in your student loans, there was a little problem there. Okay. Right now, you're going to be able to get in on this new PPP, even if you have some student loan debt. All right. So that's what Ms. Aurorah wants to share as it relates to this new PPP for small businesses with 20 employees or less. Please let Ms. Aurorah know if you started your application yesterday, if you plan to do the application, what all has transpired. What happened? Okay. Did you get it? How long did it take? Did you go through your bank? Ms. Aurorah wants to know so that everyone here in the secured entrepreneur community can be aware of some of the challenges and some of the things that we're all doing correctly to get what it is that we're looking for. Okay. So, you can find Ms. Aurorah at AurorahDayConsulting.com. And until next time, ta-ta.